now we can hold it up to itself. How close can we get? And then it just keeps doing it over and over and over.
Eventually it just...
Oh. Acid trip!
Oh man, we can color for days, bro.
That might be all I'm able to do after that. Yeah. So I guess this is our unofficial Q&A. We seem to get a lot of the same questions over and over again, so we thought we could simplify the process. Such as, what tires are we running? Well, it all depends on what video you watched. Because the older ones, up until this summer, I was running the Shinko 804, 805. But this summer I'm running the Tractionator, the Motaz Tractionator Adventure. And those things are gnarly. They're like more than double the price, but they're freaking excellent. Do you think the V-Strom 1000's adjustable suspension and extra power is worth the additional weight/bulk, especially when you wish to take it off-road from time to time, assuming one has the budget for either one?
I have never ridden a Suzuki V-Strom 1000. I don't know. I just know that after riding the 650, I wouldn't really see the need to have the 1000 or spend the extra money. If I was going to spend the extra money, I'd buy the 650 and do the Cogent suspension swap and have an adjustable suspension. And if you wanted to be real crazy, you just add the remote adjuster that they have for that
like
shock,
like
and
$300
and then off you go. It'd probably be the best bang for your buck. You've got a better sprung bike then. You've spent probably close to the same amount as you would have for all the extra goodies on the 1000.
Yeah.
And then you've got a bike that's arguably sprung way, way, way better.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of... Like, don't get me wrong, yes.
How much do you need? How much engine do you need when you're off-road? How much extra engine do you need?
No, I totally agree. I don't need 1000 for its power.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at, like, price. Because as like, getting sprung with Cogent makes a huge difference in the way the bike runs, or performs.
What's the price difference? I don't know the price difference.
It was like $1,500.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, that is not a lot of money for the performance. Do this the day you buy the bike, you won't regret it. That's the only regret I have, is that I didn't do it immediately after I bought the bike. Start getting into the $14,500 range. Like, what's an extra couple grand to get like the Adventure R KTM 790?
Yeah.
Or I mean, how much does the KTM 790 go for? $14,500 for the KTM 790 Adventure R. Like, sold.
Yeah.
That's a hard... Tell me that that's not a hard bargain.
Yeah.
Like, tell me if you could get my V-Strom or a KTM 790
Oh no,
Adventure
are
R.
you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, exactly. Check this out. This is why I added this. Oh shit. How do you clean your bike?
Who asked that man?
ESO. Well, let me finish your question. How do you clean your bike in the 2 instances trail? I think there's a translation issue here. How do you... Yeah.
Let me see this.
Yeah, that's a monster to try and read.
How do you clean the bike in 2 inches?
This I'm gonna have to put the comment up. This is insane to try and read.
There's so much. Not their fault. It's translation's fault. Some languages don't translate well into English. Basically, they just want to know like what you do to get the mud off of your suspension parts, or like in any of the nooks and crannies and the harder to reach bits and the faster to wear parts. Chain and some of that stuff. It seems. To clean.
Here's apparently when I was sober, I could handle this question.
To clean your bike.
Here was the response. My advice: pressure washer and timely cleaning. All of the mud, dirt, crap will come off easily if you've washed the same day.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay.
I haven't had any issues.
That?
I'm sorry. I haven't
responded. Why are we responding to questions we've already answered?
Because they seem to pop up more than once.
You're so diligent on this shit.
I hadn't finished my freaking answer when you interrupted.
We
I haven't had any issues with premature wear or performance. Sand and salt are the big enemies of most wearing items. Sand and salt are the enemy of most wearing items.
Look, cause we have sea salt by the seashore.
Oh, would you mind going over the setup of your bike sometime? Disregard if you already have. Haven't watched all your videos yet. Hope you are making more. Really enjoy it so far.
Whose setup? Your setup?
My setup.
No one gives a fuck about my setup. Everybody's got a goddamn DR650.
Someone asked Colin about his fucking DR650 setup because he is so upset that no one is asking him any questions.
I can barely get sentences out.
Christ almighty. What do I even say about my setup? I didn't have anything on the bike.
It was
stock.
It was a stock XT.
Oh no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Tires.
So no, it wasn't because I had the skid plate, crash bars, handguards. So yeah, to somebody like and tire difference. So it really changes the look of the bike. It makes it look really aggressive. So for the crash bars and skid plate, it's Outback Motortech. Came with the center stand too. It was like $1,000, but you gotta have it if you're doing any off-roading. Those fenders are really fragile to a drop. Then I have the Tusk D-Flex Pro handguards. I used Bark Busters and the CRF 250L, but they just, I don't know, the quality wasn't what I expected. So I tried these out from Rocky Mountain ATV. They were about the same price. Actually, I think they were a little cheaper. And they've been great. I've put them on both my bikes, and they've been down like hard.
They look so good too.
They do. They look really sharp.
They're sexy.
Yeah.
They're
and
good.
Then at the time,
they look good on a V-Strom, and they look good on a vintage XT250. That says everything right there.
It's true.
They look good on everything. Everything.
So then what I did was I bought a really the cheapest set of dual sport tires I could get. The Shinko 804, 805. And they are a really great budget dual sport. But they lack in the soft stuff. Lateral traction is really bad. Like it's pretty bad if you're in any kind of slippery situation and have to get started because you just skip out sideways. Yeah, other than that, they're great. I mean, that sounds really dark. I used them on a 7,000 kilometer trip up north. 7,000. And they were excellent. And that was primarily off-road. And they were awesome. I never had an issue with wearing until hot days. If you're pounding pavement, pounding highway on a hot day, it'll burn through that rubber. It's so soft. Which fork brace is that, and do you recommend it? Thanks. So it is it's the Adventure Tech fork brace. The difference is really palpable when you put it on. I don't know, it feels more planted. You really feel better connected with the road. Like what is happening at the handlebars is what is happening at the wheel. It's almost like it removes flex. So yeah, I recommend it. You don't necessarily have to get the Adventure Tech one. Get whatever one you want. A fork brace is a fork brace is a fork brace. What is the control box on your left handle used for? The control box on the left handlebar is for the aux repeated grips. They're really nice. They're like $100. One of the best upgrades I've ever bought. Colin, here's one for you, buddy. An awesome video. Just bought a V-Strom 650 XT 2019 and was amazed to see his capabilities in your video. Nice riding skills too. Thanks, man. How is the bike at slow ride maneuvering as in tight figure eights?
It's super stable because it's got a long wheelbase, but then it's not going to do as tight of a turn because it's got a long wheelbase. But that being said, it'll do it. Like, I don't know. I've watched it do some.
Doesn't that pretty much sums up the V-Strom? It'll do it. like it doesn't do it great. It doesn't do it awesome. You don't feel super confident doing it sometimes, but it'll do it.
It'll do it.
Great video, mate. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, sir. Just a query. How does the V-Strom 650 XT feel with full pannier setup and a pillion too? Heavy.
Size of your pillion, doesn't it?
Yeah, heavy though. It's most remarkable when you shift the weight to the front brake and the whole.
Yeah.
Oh, and because the front end is so undersprung, it's like a
buttery,
like one of those donkey things. It's like you feel like you're pivoting on this center of mass that is just unstable. It's no, it's great. No, it that sounds really bad. I make it sound so bad. No, it's just it's not the front end is not sprung well enough. So it feels really heavy. It feels really heavy, but it'll do it. Good job, man. Now you give me back my V-Strom fever. I like the crash bar jerry cans. How did you do that? Well, you think that I went and got freaking Rotopacks for like $300 for 2 freaking cans. No. I went to Amazon and I found some for $50. And I said to myself, even if I can't mount them, I can return them, no problem. And if they work, I spent a third. So I did it. They worked perfect. They just, I didn't have to do really anything except for get some U-bolt hardware. That was it. They work super great. How do I know when my bearings are going bad? Thanks again for the help. Okay, if it gets to that point, you're probably fucked. Pull over. Okay? Like, if you don't die, be thankful. Yeah, that in the front end. Or if you start noticing that when you put on your rear brake, the rear wheel wobbles, your bearing is gone. Like gone. How should you be able to tell that your bearings are going bad? Well, what kind of sound do you think it would make, Colin? Make the sound of a bearing going bad.
If your bearings are bad.
Oh, I thought you were going to make a sound. The suspense was killing me. I thought you were prepping to make a sound. God damn it.
I can't make a noise for you. If your bearings are bad, go to the front of your bike. No, that's like if they're gone, if they've disappeared. And it's like seized and you're just driving on a rim. No, if you can go up to the front of the bike and grab your wheel and shake it, and there's play, a lot of play, back and forth in that wheel, your bearings are probably fucked. If you go to the back of the bike and put the brakes on and grab the wheel and go like this, and the wheel is shaking around inside the frame of the bike like a lot, your bearings are probably fucked.
Yeah, don't drive it anywhere.
That's probably the best way to tell. You'll know.
Alternatively, put it up on a center stand or on whatever you use to lift your bike up so the wheel can spin. Spin it, and if there's a like high-pitched sound, like a squeak or a squeal coming from the bearing, and you'll know because when you get new bearings and you spin the wheel, it'll keep spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning. And then when they're going bad, there's more resistance before they go. So you'll notice a difference and you'll hear it. Why light it?
Because that
Because why
melts
not?
it down. No, because that you're supposed to.
Oh.
If you follow that, makes the patch that seals it, and then you blow it out.
Huh.
So it goes in, it plugs, and then you melt it down by lighting it on fire, and that makes the little patch. It seals it in. It's like cement. It's activated by lighting it. You're supposed to do that.
Colin Stacy, everybody. Just watched for a second time. This is a log jump for the before and after Cogent DDC kit. Is the spring rate increased to push the nose up higher or something else? Also, how was the general ride quality afterwards? So, what you're really asking about is suspension sag. And suspension sag is made up of three things. Spring stiffness, spring length, spacer length, and then the tube you're putting it in. So actually 4 things. Whatever, fuck. So essentially, when you compress the suspension or you put weight on the suspension, you only want it to sag about 1/3. If it sags more than that, it means your spring rate is too low or your spacer is too small. So that's the stiff piece that sits inside the tube. So with the Cogent DDC kit, you get a little drop-in damper cartridge. So that takes up a little bit of space. It acts as a spacer, but then it also controls the damping of your fork, and it's just great. But to get back to your question, the spring rate is increased. It's the same length, but the spring rate is increased so it doesn't compress as much with weight. So you have more distance to buffer an impact, if that makes sense. So yes, it raises the nose up higher. It does.
I was answering wife questions. I have no idea.
Oh, it's all good.
I was.
Colin wasn't listening. Colin
Yeah.
wasn't listening. I think I was being scientific. Maybe I'll watch this later and just realize I was out to lunch.
That's where I spend most of my days.
Oh, also, how was the general ride quality afterwards? Incredible. Absolutely fantastic. Totally transformed the front end. I could ride so much faster off-road. It was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, a lot faster.
And then you start to realize it's a double-edged sword because you get the front end totally transformed, and then you realize that your rear is your dominant limiting factor. That's not the last question. Oh my god, it is.
Oh.
That is the last question. Well, I guess that's it, man. Wonder how long that took. Probably about an hour.
Just go beer on myself. Not a lot, just drop, but enough to be
Holy
upset.
moly! So glad I'm gonna get to edit this later.